Hey guys, it's me, Taj Okonkwo. So if you've been on YouTube, you'll know that there are plenty of animators. Some of these animation channels may make some amazing content and still only get a few thousand subscribers. One of these underrated animation channels is called jacknjelliy. jacknjelliy is an animation channel with over 800,000 subscribers. They are most known for their ongoing animation series called Battle for Dream Island. This series has inspired thousands of its fans to create similar shows, including me. This is why I'm creating a quick video about how I discovered Battle for Dream Island and why I still watch it today. Also, stick around until the end of the video for an announcement. The first time I discovered this show was back when I was 7 years old. I was watching some YouTube videos from Annoying Orange like any kid my age would do, until I saw a thumbnail for a show I've never heard of before. It was the first episode to be released to the series. I watched it for a few minutes until I heard one of the characters say a very offensive word. It was like this pin character was trying to hurt me personally. That word haunted my 7-year-old brain. She said stupid. So I immediately left the video to watch something else. But that episode would come back 2 years later. So it was late 2015 and I was watching some YouTube videos. I don't remember exactly what happened, but for some reason, the scary adult show that I stumbled across 2 years ago came back to haunt me. At that point, I was just like, I'll give it a shot. I'm glad I made that decision because as soon as Pin said the evil word that I must not utter on YouTube aloud anymore, things started to get exciting. I started to understand the concept of Battle for Dream Island. Battle for Dream Island was essentially a show where 20 contestants themed after inanimate objects battle against each other for a grand prize. These contestants have challenges that they must complete. Anyone who fails the challenge is up for elimination. After the episode is over, the audience gets to vote out one character that lost. It all became clear to me. However, I realized that I started watching Battle for Dream Island way after the first season ended. Therefore, I could not vote in any of the episodes. I also noticed another thing. BFDI had been on an extremely long hiatus since the release of its 5th episode in the 2nd season, BFDIA, in 2013. I started to wonder when jacknjelliy would release the next episode. Luckily, in September of 2016, my question would be answered. On September 1st, 2016, jacknjelliy released IDFB1, Welcome Back. I was hit with a drop of hope. The BFDI series could come back and I could be able to vote. Unfortunately, IDFB1 would be the only episode in the 3rd season. Many people were awaiting a 2nd episode, including myself. That was why I decided to start a similar show called Objectogenism on Scratch. Now before I talk about it, I want to point out that this was not the first time that someone has made a show inspired by BFDI. That title would go to Animate Insanity run by a channel called AnimationEpic. However, because there were so many BFDI inspired shows out there, I felt like starting my own. Objectogenism had characters like Paint Bucket, Music Note, Matchstick, who is basically a ripoff of a BFDI character named Match. And finally, the most controversial one yet, Hooda Math guy. Now this character was copyrighted, meaning that I could run into a few copyright issues. But I felt that was okay because BFDI already had a character themed after Dora the Explorer. Despite this, I decided to add even more characters to this show. These characters include Waterball, Orange Flower, another ripoff character, Diamond, Dollar Bill, the Mooneration Fish, based off the Anglerfish, Quesadilla, and 2 more copyrighted characters. Eventually, I got rid of the copyrighted characters and replaced them with a few characters I'll talk about later. I soon started to become less and less interested in BFDI, however. That was until November 3rd, 2017, when my best friend Ryan told me about a 4th season that just came out. The season was called Battle for BFDI, or BFB for short. I immediately started watching this new episode. It was like nothing I had ever seen before. There were more contestants, original music, and new hosts. Now before we continue, I'd like to point out a few things. So my least favorite character in the BFDI series at the time was Pencil. She became my least favorite character after leading her overpowered team to victory in the final episode of the 2nd season. Since this is a brand new season, Pencil had to join a new team. The team was called Iance. The name was the shortened form of the word Alliance. This is because the team had all 4 Pencil's Alliance members plus 4 extra ones. However, since not all the members in the team were part of Pencil's Alliance, they decided to take the all out of Alliance to make Iance. Anyways, in the very first episode of BFB, Iance lost. This felt like an amazing moment to me. I could finally vote Pencil out of the game. And guess what? My vote counted. Because in the very next episode, Pencil became the first contestant to lose BFB with 4,595 votes against her. This was a grand moment for me. Pencil could no longer ruin the show for me. This made BFB my favorite season in the Battle for Dream Island series. This also inspired me to release more episodes of Objectogenism. There were many beautiful episodes of BFB that were released during 2017 and 2018. BFB became such a big part of my life that I even decided to have a BFB-themed birthday party when I turned 12 on July 3rd, 2018. A few weeks after my birthday, jacknjelliy released BFB 12. This would turn out to start yet another long hiatus for the BFDI series. During that time, I started to develop a hatred towards the specific character in the series. Her name was Taco. You see, since the first episode of BFB, there has been a conflict between Taco and another character called Book. I won't go in depth about what the conflict is about because that would take too much time. Anyways, Book was widely accepted to be the character who started the conflict. However, rather than hate on Book and defend Taco, I decided to side towards Book because the conflict gave Taco a lot of attention, which was, in my mind, undeserved. I even decided to start a campaign called End Taco's Game to get people to vote out Taco. But that failed after I realized how stupid that was. A little over 1 year after BFB was released, jacknjelliy released BFB 13. BFB 13 turned out to be a two-part episode where half of the challenge for that episode was filmed to BFB 14. Before we talk about it though, let's talk about my favorite characters in BFB. My two favorite characters at the time were Rocky and Balloony. They were on the same team, Beep. While we're at it, let's also talk about recommended characters. I'm so sorry for adding more time to this video, I promise I'll make it brief. During the time in between BFB 12 and BFB 13, I recommended 6 characters to be featured on the show. Toothbrush, Seal Drum, Spumoni, based off of Spumoni Ice Cream, Hailman, Music Box, and Na, based off the hiragana character Na. Anyways, BFB 13 was pretty amazing. There were some very interesting things that took place in that episode. One of those is Book's decision to be nice to Taco. That was finally when I decided that I should stop hating Taco so much. However, BFB 13 can never top the wonder that is BFB 14. BFB 14 was very well written. My favorite part about it were the many sacrifices that the characters had to make. Let me explain why. So for the challenge in BFB 13, the contestants must find 7 emeralds underground. There are 8 teams, so the team that does not find the emerald will be up for elimination. During the challenge, one of the teams discovers a hidden volcano that floods the cave system. The lava eventually reaches the surface. Book notices this and tries to save Taco from the lava. This gets Book killed. Anyways, do you remember Toothbrush, my first recommended character? Well, Toothbrush actually got featured in BFB after nearly a year. I was super excited when I found this out. However, later in the episode, Rocky and Balloony, my two favorite characters, died in the lava. This made me feel kind of upset, but that didn't matter because in BFB, characters can be brought back to life with the help of 4, the hosts of the show. All in all, BFB 14 was very epic. BFB 15, on the other hand, was a very extreme episode. What I mean is that it was extremely good, but also very flawed. My favorite part about the episode was the fact that it featured all my recommended characters. My least favorite part was that Rocky and Balloony did not get revived, but my worries would soon fade away after BFB 16 came out in March of 2020. BFB 16 was an extremely important episode for a few reasons. One is that Rocky and Balloony finally got revived, and 2 is that the show was split into 2 shows, BFB and The Power of 2, or Teapot for short. BFB would have episodes come out quickly, and Teapot would have episodes that took more time to make. That is because Teapot would have way more characters than BFB, 41 to be exact. The remaining 14 would stay in BFB. Rocky would join Teapot and Balloony would remain in BFB. This meant that both shows would have characters that I could root for. However, in BFB 17, Balloony was put up for elimination after his new team lost the challenge, and in the next episode he would sadly be eliminated. That was fine with me because I learned to deal with these emotions. I also decided to look at the voting results for the episode because I got impatient. Anyways, this new version of BFB would inspire me to reboot Objectogenism. I updated the characters, got rid of the copyrighted ones, and introduced my recommended characters from BFB. Now let's talk about BFB 22, which was released in July of 2020, because it's where we're gonna end our video. So do you remember Taco? You know, the character that I used to hate for being popular? Yeah, her. Well, in BFB 22, Taco got eliminated. I got excited despite the fact that my hatred for her started to wear down. I still felt glad because even though I started to hate Taco less, she was still never my favorite contestant. Even though Balloony was eliminated, I try to find more characters to root for. That is why BFB is my favorite YouTube series of all time. The votes that I place in BFB episodes are always counted. It feels like a presidential election every time a new BFB episode comes out. BFB reminds me and many other fans that we can make a big impact. Thank you for watching this video. I have a pretty big announcement for this channel. So I've been working very hard on my video game Fly Circle, and I feel like it's time to show you all the time I've spent working on it. That's why next week I'll post 5 videos throughout the week in addition to 1 video on Friday. Anyways, I'll have a link to jacknjelliyy's YouTube channel so that you can check out BFB. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell button. Here's my social media if you'd like to check it out, and the link to my Discord server will be in the description. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next week. Have a nice day.